morning, everyone, and welcome. Before we begin, I would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are situated on traditional territories and treaty lands, in particular, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, as well as the Anishinaabe of the Williams Treaty First Nations, the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee,
Wow.
and lands that are now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Toronto and Region Conservation Authority appreciates and respects the history and diversity of the land and is grateful to have the opportunity to work and meet in this territory. Welcome to TRCA's Administrative Office Building. I'm John McKenzie, Chief Executive Officer at TRCA, and I'm joined today by a number of TRCA senior leadership team members and my colleagues and staff, and including many industry colleagues today. We are pleased to host today's announcement on behalf of our federal partner, Natural Resources Canada, in what is Canada's most sustainable office building. Natural Resources Canada and the federal government helped TRCA achieve key sustainability elements of this building. It wouldn't have been possible without the support of this federal government. Bonjour tout le monde, bon matin. Bienvenue dans nos bureaux administratifs de la TRCA. Je suis John McKenzie, chef de la direction. Nous avons le plaisir d'accueillir l'annonce d'aujourd'hui au nom de Resources Naturelles Canada, notre partenaire fédéral. Merci, Monsieur le Ministre, pour votre soutien concernant les éléments durables de ce bâtiment. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our guests joining us today. The Honorable Minister Tim Hodgson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources. MP Maggie Chi, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health and Member of Parliament for Don Valley North. Ali Assassi, Parliamentary Secretary to the President of the King's Privy Council for Canada and Minister responsible for Canada-US trade, intergovernmental affairs, and One Canadian Economy. And industry representatives from the Forest Products Association of Canada, the Climate Smart Buildings Alliance, Woodworks Ontario, and Sustainable Buildings Canada. We are so pleased to welcome all of you here today. Thank you so much for being here. We are especially proud to host this announcement in a building realized in part through support from Natural Resources Canada, Green Construction Through Wood program. That investment allowed TRCA to explore innovative, sustainable building design and demonstrate what can be achieved when low-carbon materials are paired with practical and forward-looking solutions. This building is proof of concept and a pilot for what can be achieved across our country. You can see the results all around you. Mass timber anchors this building and defines its character. We committed early to using wood wherever it was appropriate, from the structural components of this building to the interior finishes. Even the exterior cladding you see is locally sourced Ontario wood. And the outcomes speak volumes. This building has achieved zero carbon building design certification and received the 2023 Ontario Embodied Carbon Award for new construction. We were recently named the overall winner at the Plan Award 2025 in Milan, recognized for our achievements on sustainable design as chosen from more than 1,000 international submissions. We are leading here today in Canada, but we're leading throughout the world. We sincerely thank our federal partners for helping make innovative, sustainable developments like this possible in Canada. This partnership with Natural Resources Canada extends well beyond this site. TRCA has been pleased to support the implementation and monitoring of the $2 billion program through our nursery, through our native sourcing, through our restoration projects. We are also collaborating with NRCan to develop approaches for sourcing and growing tree and plant stock that is more resilient to the impacts of a changing climate. Our work continues directly to achieve healthier environments and more resilient communities. It demonstrates what dedicated, coordinated action between the federal government and conservation authorities and industry partners like the ones we have here today can achieve. We can achieve so much together. Thank you once again for being here this morning. Merci d'être ici aujourd'hui. It is now my pleasure to welcome our next and one of our greatest advocates, Parliamentary Secretary Xi, to MC the rest of today's event. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for the warm welcome, and thank you to everybody for being here today. My name is Maggie Chi, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health and Member Parliament for Don Valley North, and I'll be your MC. I'm honored to be your MC for this today's event. It's truly wonderful to gather in this beautiful building, John. What an accomplishment by the TRC, and thank you again for hosting this sustainably designed TRC building, a space that really reflects the forward-looking and community-focused approach we are here to highlight. I'm very pleased to be part of today's event as we look ahead to how the federal government is supporting future of Canada's forest sector and strengthening the community and workers who depend on it. And with that, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Tim Hodgson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, to deliver his remarks.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Bonjour. As has been said, it's a pleasure to be here with my colleagues, Parliamentary Secretary Chi and Parliamentary Secretary Assassi. I also would like to acknowledge my new friends, Eric, David, Steve, Bettina, and Larry. Thank you for being here with us at this event and for all that you do for the country. I'd also to thank particularly John McKenzie, CEO of the Toronto and Region Conservation Authority, and his whole team here today for hosting us at this beautiful, beautiful building. One that is one of the most efficient buildings in North America, as we heard. It's a prime example of how advanced wood design and construction is helping to create a more sustainable future while buying Canadian and growing markets for the Canadian forestry sector. When it comes to trade war, the trade war that has been declared upon us, I often say Canada's forestry sector is a canary in the coal mine. For years, the sector has experienced the effects of repeated unjust trade action by the United States. Now, the United States is transforming its commercial relationship with every partner, including Canada, creating uncertainty, volatility, and real pressure for Canadian workers and businesses. As someone who grew up in a small forestry town on the northern part of Vancouver Island, I know how hard those impacts hit Canadian forestry workers, towns, and the families who live in them. When we talk about this industry, we are not just talking about trees. We are talking about lives and livelihoods. As the Prime Minister always says, we cannot control what others do, but we can be masters of our own home and give ourselves more than anyone can take away from us. That's why last month your government tabled a new budget that is relentless in its ability to respond, with investments of historic magnitude coupled with comprehensive industrial strategy to ensure Canada remains competitive, resilient, and positioned for the future. To put it simply, the plan is a guide to unleash $1 trillion in investment over the next 5 years. That's not just a number. It's growth that will boost our GDP by more than 3.5%, putting an extra $3,500 in the pocket of every Canadian worker. Budget 2025 gives us the tools to build Canada strong. It's a strategy for a Canada that is confident, sovereign, and taking its future in its own hands. We are transforming our economy in a way that has not been seen in generations. We are supporting the Canadians who are a driving force for innovation, sustainability, and growth. We are protecting, modernizing, and supporting our vital industries to achieve the greatest industrial shift in our history. The forestry industry is certainly no exception. Through our groundbreaking initiative, Build Canada Homes, our new Buy Canadian policy, and getting our nation back into the major projects building game again, we are going to drive Canadian market demand for Canadian wood products and retool our industry to meet the needs of tomorrow rather than the needs of yesterday. As we embrace these opportunities, our new government remains firmly committed to standing with workers and communities from coast to coast to coast, ensuring that no one is left behind in a world changing faster than ever. Importantly, we are also focused on ensuring that the 11,000 Indigenous peoples who work in the forestry sector have a strong voice in this transition. Since August, we have actioned bold measures worth $2.35 billion to secure the long-term sustainability of Canada's forestry sector. These measures announced by the Prime Minister will enable our forest sector to not only adapt, but to thrive. Today, I'm pleased to announce the next significant step we are taking to strengthen and revitalize our industry. First, we are making federal programs easier to navigate through Natural Resources Canada's new single window concierge service. This single window will be a one-stop shop for companies to find information on every program available to support them. We will also be providing direct access to personalized help from Natural Resources Canada experts, so companies can spend more time building and less time navigating bureaucracy. Second, through the Natural Resource Canada's Green Construction Through Wood program, we are providing over $9 million to 5 new projects that will help accelerate the adoption of innovative Canadian wood products such as mass timber in construction across this country, hopefully like this. These projects will tackle insurance challenges, develop a mass timber costing guide, advance building code changes for low carbon materials, expand wood construction education, and increase the use of wood solutions through technical support and training. To unlock the full potential of the industry, our government is also investing $500 million to renew Natural Resources Canada's suite of forest sector transformation programs, including the Green Construction Through Wood program. These programs will increase the value of domestic production, support Indigenous-led business development, and open new international markets for Canadian forest products while prioritizing Canadian wood right here at home. Finally, as some may recall, on November 26th, the Prime Minister announced we would launch a Canadian Forest Sector Transformation Task Force to seek input from provinces, territories, Indigenous peoples, and industry on how to restore the softwood lumber industry to ensure it maintains competitiveness over the long term. Now, those of you who know our government know we like to work quickly. So that is why 19 days later, we are pleased to announce the task force has been stood up, and it will be chaired by Ken Kalesnikoff from Kalesnikoff Mass Timber and by Frederic Verreau from Les Chantiers Chibougamau. Along with Ken and Frederic, a seasoned group of industrial leaders will spend the next 90 days working urgently across the country to examine the opportunities and challenges shaping the sector's global competitiveness and domestic needs, including considerations for its future scale and structure. They will then deliver recommendations on how we can restructure and retool the forestry industry for future competitiveness and resilience. This group brings a wealth of knowledge and experience and different perspectives on traditional and advanced forest products markets and manufacturing. Our government has made a clear choice to invest in Canada's forestry sector, a pillar of our economy and a secure source of prosperity for more than 300 communities. But we are not just investing in stagnancy. We are investing in a fundamental shift being led by the industry itself. The future of Canada's forestry sector will be driven by innovation, diversification, and global competitiveness. We are firmly committed to ensuring that it survives today and thrives tomorrow. When it comes to building Canada strong, Prime Minister Carney has chosen to act decisively. I fully support his vision to build, protect, and strengthen Canada. Building a strong and sovereign Canada takes historic action, and we will deliver. We are transforming our strategic industries, protecting our workers and our local businesses, and ensuring that Indigenous peoples are equal partners in that transformation. We are prioritizing Canadian materials, including wood, so we can be our own best customer, beholden to no one else. And we are building our economy to make it the most competitive in the G7 and becoming an energy and natural resources superpower. Merci. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Hodgson. I will now pass it over to my colleague, Parliamentary Secretary to the President of the King's Privy Council for Canada and Minister responsible for Canada-US trade, intergovernmental affairs, and One Canadian economy, Ali Assassi, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. As was noted, my name is Ali Assassi, and I'm Parliamentary Secretary to Minister Dominic LeBlanc. So I'm proud to stand here today with Minister Hodgson, with Parliamentary Secretary Chi, and with industry leaders here today in this magnificent building. We're here, of course, to announce additional support for Canada's forestry sector. As the Prime Minister himself has repeatedly made clear, and I quote, "The forest sector is a pillar of Canada's economy. In the face of a changing global landscape, we are focused on what we can control, building Canada strong with Canadian expertise using Canadian lumber," end of quote. Now, as was evident in Minister Hodgson's remarks, our new government is implementing a clear, deliberate industrial strategy that will put Canada's interests first. We are investing in domestic production, strengthening our supply chains, and standing behind our businesses and workers so they can grow, compete, and succeed around the world. In a world defined by uncertainty, we are taking decisive action to transform our economy, moving away from reliance on any single trade partner and toward an economy that is stronger, more self-sufficient, and of course, resilient. Through a Team Canada approach, we are making it more affordable to move Canadian lumber across our country and increasing the use of Canadian softwood lumber in housing, and our government is charting a very new, clear path forward, from reliance, of course, to resilience. This, as again Minister Hodgson did emphasize, is about action, rapid action. It's about jobs, and it's about building a stronger, more resilient Canada, one that delivers opportunity for all Canadians. It's a Canada that boosts innovation, market confidence, and sustainable building practices. We're confident that these new measures will ensure the softwood lumber sector remains competitive, sustainable, and resilient for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, P.S. Assassi, and once again, thank you all for coming. We will now open up for questions from media. I will pass it over.
All right, we're gonna forego the questions from media. I hope you'll leave your comments and ideas, thoughts, whatever in the comments. And thank you for joining us. Have a good morning.